welcome to the FoodCycle Nutrition Chat. I'm at Mission Kitchen in London, at FoodCycle HQ. My name's Alex. I'm the South and Wales area manager and also FoodCycle's nutritionist. And we'll be going through some tips on nutrition, food waste tips, money-saving tips, and how to best help our guests. And I'm joined by Hannah and Sue.
Hi, I'm Hannah and I'm the Assistant Nutrition Manager at Danone UK Ireland, where we have a long-standing mission of providing better health through better nutrition to our communities. We're proud to be partners with FoodCycle and supporting them in providing healthy, nutritious meals to as many communities as possible. And I'm super excited to be here today to share some practical nutrition tips and support healthier eating habits across FoodCycle communities.
And my name's Sue Baic and I'm a registered dietitian. I've been working in the field of public health nutrition for many years. And my job today is to pick the brains of Alex and Hannah and ask them some challenging nutritional questions, which we hope will help you as volunteers. So let's kick off and I'll ask you both, how do FoodCycle volunteers help guests to eat well?
One of our main aims is to provide nutritious meals. We have a lot of guests who don't have access to cooking facilities or nutritious food. So being able to come to a FoodCycle meal means they get a really nutritious meal once a week from our projects. And our volunteers are really pivotal in providing meals which are full of fruit and veg, starch, carbs, and all the good things that we need.
Great. So the volunteers are able to share ideas with guests as well.
Yeah, so they're able to share ideas, give them tips on cooking and other nutrition tips as well. And this is where we hope this training and these sessions can be really beneficial.
Brilliant. Thank you. What about you, Hannah? What other ways do you see which FoodCycle volunteers are helping guests?
I think another way in which FoodCycle helps is by providing opportunities to eat with others. So there's actual benefits of community and social dining, and actually treating meals as an occasion can actually help with nutrient intake. A lot of FoodCycle guests live alone and don't get out much, so it also provides sort of an opportunity to leave the house whilst also improving their intake of important nutrients.
What about any aspects around the ethos of FoodCycle in terms of food waste?
Yeah, so FoodCycle also helps with reducing food waste. So this is really important in terms of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and also global warming. And research shows that food waste in the house costs a single person living at home around £280 a year. And I think a single family living at home £720 a year, which is about 17% of your total income. So yeah, it's quite a lot. And we find the most commonly wasted foods are staple items like bread, fruit and vegetables, potatoes, and FoodCycle volunteers can help with this by providing ways and ideas to use leftovers and also store food correctly.
Do you agree with that, Alex?
I do, yeah. So our guests are able to take home any leftovers, so they get that other meal the next day, which is really nutritious, but also they get to take home any tips or anything they can try at home with their own fruit and veg. And they also get to basically try new foods. We have a lot of children that come who might not have tried a lot of different fruit and veg before, so they get to choose new foods and to give them a go. And so that's also another really nice aspect as well.
Excellent. And I remember reading from the FoodCycle guest survey how some of the quotes that you had from guests saying that they tried foods they wouldn't normally try. They really valued the ideas for using leftovers. They learned more about what foods were important to their health.
Yeah, so it's quite pivotal in their own kind of nutrition knowledge, being able to take that home and provide for their families and kind of pass that knowledge on is really nice.
Another question that might be on people's minds is why does FoodCycle not use meat or fish?
So there's a few different reasons. One being food safety. We get loads of donated food, lots of fruit and veg. If we got donated meat and fish, then there's a possibility that it would be out of date or it would have been stored incorrectly. And we also have lots of volunteers who might not have really a lot of experience with cooking meat, so we don't want to give anyone any pink chicken, for example. Another example is we want to keep it as inclusive as possible. So we have people from all walks of life come for food, and so being vegetarian means that we can cater to different cultural requirements. And if anyone's vegetarian, for example, and it's also, you know, storage, much easier to store fruit and vegetables and tinned products and ambient products as well. And it's better for the environment. So it's more sustainable, and it's doing our bit for the planet.
So meat is one of the big contributors in terms of greenhouse gases.
Yeah, absolutely. So being able to have that sustainable pillar of the charity is really important to us, and it kind of links in with the food waste side of things as well.
Are there any other advantages, Hannah, that you can see of not using meat and fish?
Yeah, so there are also health benefits of eating less meat. So plant proteins tend to be high in fibre and also lower in saturated fat compared to some animal proteins. And it can also help to save you money when used to fully or partially replace meat and recipes when you're cooking at home. I think from a nutrition point of view as well, you can absolutely meet all your nutritional needs if you're not including meat or fish in your diet. I think, like with any diet, it's important to have a variety of different food groups to make sure you're getting the full spectrum of nutrients. It's also important to include sources of calcium in the diet. So this can be from dairy products or fortified plant-based alternatives to dairy. If you're not including any animal foods within the diet, it's also important to include a source of iodine, B12, omega-3, and a regular source of iron as well to make sure you're getting the full spectrum of nutrients.
So let's now think about another question that we get really commonly asked, which is it more expensive to eat healthily? So I'll go to Alex first. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think one really useful tip that we practice at FoodCycle, obviously we're cooking for a lot of people. We batch cook. So we're creating dishes for 40, 50 people, but obviously if you're at home, you're not necessarily going to cook 40 or 50 portions, but you might do 5 to 10. And then if you've got the facilities to store it, to freeze it, then that's a really good way of planning your week, making sure you have got all the meals, you know, that which are really nutritious to hand, and also being able to use all of your facilities, your ovens, your hobs and everything at the same time, so you're reducing your energy output as well.
That's great. Thank you. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, I would say that is a common misconception, but there are lots of examples of foods which are both healthy and affordable. So frozen fruit and vegetables, whole grains, starchy carbohydrates, and also beans and pulses, which are great sources of plant protein. I would say my top tip is to find ways to buy fruit and vegetables more cheaply. So looking out for imperfect fruit and vegetables in the supermarkets, as these are often less expensive because they are less appealing, but they're just as nutritious and they taste great as well.
It's a great point. And I think I'd add my top tips around saving money probably would be to make more use of canned and frozen, which are often really good value, just as nutritious, and you waste less. And maybe to actually write a shopping list before you go shopping as well, so that you don't end up coming back with loads of things that you don't need. So any more that you'd like to add there, Alex?
Yeah, so I think sometimes our guests can struggle to source cheap enough food if they live in a particularly deprived area. We do see that they are in, you know, what we call a food desert. So they might be relying on corner shops and more expensive supermarkets when, you know, other places might have, you know, low cost fruit and veg markets nearby, and like larger supermarkets which have really good deals, things like that. So that's something to be mindful of, that sometimes some products can be more expensive depending on where you buy them, and our guests might not have access to those cheaper places. But we do have loads of resources and information on our website for our guests to have a look at. So we have a recipe section with loads of really nice recipes, which a lot of them would have tried at FoodCycle Meals. We also have the FoodCycle Guides to Eating Well, which has a couple of recipes in there, plus all of the nutrition hints and tips that they need to, you know, improve their nutrition and healthy eating. We do training with our volunteers on allergens and food safety as well. So they have that, and then also nutrition training.